Hello and welcome again to the Stouting Off podcast, episode number 28, where, as usual, we are going to spout off commentary on the everyday. Excellent. Hello and welcome again to the Stouting Off podcast. I'm your host now and forevermore, Andrew Joseph Stoutenberg is my name, and I'm joined live in studio, as always, by my producer, Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Excellent to hear. Now, guys, you might notice, if you're watching on YouTube, you might notice that I have a guest with me, Will Woodington. Will, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent, man. How are you, actually? How have you been lately?
I'm well. Today, I turned the age of 31.
He did. Happy birthday. So if you guys are at home, just somehow wish him happy birthday. Just think about him or something.
Think about me, send me a card, send me a cake.
Send him a card cake.
Send me a
I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a new thing. We've also got a live studio audience as well. Wasim, welcome. Joseph, welcome. Nice to have you guys here. You guys can talk. I mean,
They didn't say a word, so it sounds like you're lying about them.
I've got Wasim. I've got Shirley. I've got Antoine. I've got as well.
There's
Lamarcus.
Artemis over there, and then
yes, you're right.
If you guys could just give us a clap, like a studio
At
audience
the same
clap.
time. Now you guys can hear. Now the studio audience, thank you. Now the real audience listening and watching is beginning to understand that we do have people here. Okay.
Now they can give us a clap.
Now you guys give us a clap. See, this is show two of our Kentucky tour. Now, those of you who listen to episode 27, you understand and you know that we shot that from Bardstown, Kentucky, in a Holiday Inn Express. Yes, we spent the night at a Holiday Inn Express, and I woke up the next morning, not like the commercials though, because we took separately. We each took showers in that room, and they were freezing cold. So you've seen commercials before where they say, oh, I invented a new thing. I did all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about, Jordan?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's because I spent the night at Holiday Inn Express.
Right.
It wasn't like that for us.
No.
We spent the night at Holiday Inn Express. I woke up freezing cold, took a shower that was also freezing cold because the hot water heater was not up to snuff somehow. Can you believe that?
I'm sorry about that. That's on me.
Well, and that's what I wanted to ultimately bring you on the show for.
I'm an heiress to the Holiday Inn chain.
An heiress? It's a long story, trust me.
Yeah, we don't have time for it.
Now, you've traveled a lot in your day. You know, corporately, just for leisurely, etc.
Yeah, corporately, leisurely, other types of lees.
Now, have you stayed in a Holiday Inn Express before?
Maybe at one point in time, very early on, but it's been a while, a good while. I'm strictly a Marriott guy.
I know you're a Marriottsman.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the mariachi.
Mariachi.
Man.
So he also doubles in a mariachi band, which is a whole separate story. We'll do that another feature on another episode. But as Will said in his introduction, he turned 32 today, so 31 today. So I just wanted to take a moment to say happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. How was the last year? How were the past 365 days?
They've been good. 30 was, I don't know, 30 is kind of an age that people are scared of because you're cresting over, you had your teenage years and then your 20s that are very exciting and dynamic.
True.
And then 30s, it's like, well, I guess this is when like real life sort of begins. But I've just been having a good old time. I mean, this has been a great year.
It's been a nice year. It's
really
been a monumental year.
I've been able to relax. I've been able to travel anywhere I want, do what I want. It's great. 30 is great. Don't let anyone tell you
No health concerns.
No health concerns. No other.
Job security. I mean, like all the things. It's just been a good process.
It's all there. I mean, I feel secure overall with everything, every aspect.
It's nice, and that's nice. So for those of you who don't know Will Woodington, he did feature on the live episode I did around Halloween time, right, Jordy?
Yeah.
Was that somewhere in there? And you were producing remotely out of state.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know Will, he is a Detroit-based guy. He runs a bourbon Instagram account called Bonded in Bottles. And this isn't, of course, it's not an interview podcast, but just give us an overview of Bonded in Bottles and how you got into it and et cetera, et cetera.
You want two et ceteras?
I want two. I want both of them. And you know which ones I'm talking about.
I wasn't prepared
After
for that.
the
I wish you
first
would.
one, just go into the second one.
Yeah, just right into it.
Okay. I'll give it my best shot. But So we actually kind of came into whiskey together.
It's true.
Bourbon specifically. But yeah, I started gravitating away from beer and stuff like that just because it makes me feel, really full and high in calories, blah, blah, blah. So started gravitating towards old fashions. And when I was traveling a ton for work, I would seek out like the best craft cocktail bars in any city I would go to. And I was like trying to find the perfect old fashioned. I'm like, there's something to this. Obviously, I'm really enjoying bourbon because, it's the forward spirit in that drink.
It's the substrate.
Yeah, it is the substrate. Many people say that.
Yeah, it's very common to say that about old fashioned. Trust me, bourbon is the substrate.
Yes.
So.
But no, but we ended up going to that bourbon tasting at our friend Mark's home.
Mark Backus, God of Wine.
Yes, he is. But that was super cool. And that kind of opened my eyes to the spirit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm jiving with this. And I just kept exploring it. And the more I did, the more I would hunt when I would travel for work. And I would go to every liquor store I could find in the area and just amassed a collection. And now I'm very, very into it. So
yeah. And so we are on the Bourbon Trail as we speak. We're in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know have I said that yet, Jordy? I don't know.
No.
Did I say that? We're in Louisville, Kentucky, and we're in the most beautiful Airbnb you've ever seen in your life. Even based on the frame that you guys are seeing, if you're watching on YouTube, you can tell this place is beautiful. Okay.
Just
Look at the paint job.
look at that. That's premium. That's Gildan. I think that's premium Gildan paint.
I was going to say it was Sherwin-Williams.
Sherwin-Williams may be a stretch.
And I don't know if you knew this, but I moonlight as a Sherwin-Williams rep on the side. So I do know my colors.
I knew you were hiding something. I just didn't know it was
This
that.
is called slate. Trust me.
That looks like slate cobblestone to me, but
Which is a bear color, actually.
yeah. Would you say, what is that, satin? Is that eggshell?
I'll meet you in the middle.
Okay.
And you know,
Seggshell.
Seggshell.
Yeah.
There you have it. So Jordy and I stayed in Holiday Inn Express last night, which I already mentioned. Okay. And without going too far into that, this morning we sprang out of bed at about 7:30, packed up our stuff, and we said, let's go get the continental breakfast. It's free. And we're excited. I got low for that one. Let's go get the continental breakfast. And so we went down there. Sure enough, thanks COVID, 3-week-old hotel that we're in, we thought it was going to be a nice kitchen setup. It was shut down. So we get a little, they have to-go bags at the front desk. We grab the to-go bags and we go back to a lobby area where we're sitting and talking. We're eating our Danishes and we both have our computers out. I'm doing podcast-related stuff. He's doing work-related stuff for his actual job. Yes, he actually has a second full-time job, Jordan does, in addition to producing the Starting Off podcast, number one podcast in the entire world. So we're sitting there talking, and oh my gosh, the concierge, the guy at the front desk, we're how many feet away from this guy? 70 feet away, probably?
Yeah, at least.
We're 70 feet away from this guy, and he's trying to have a conversation with us in the lobby.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to the Bourbon Trail, huh? Yeah, I like bourbon too. Trust me. Yeah, I've got 3 bottles of Blanton's. I have a Blanton's guy. We're like, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I also got Weller's. I like Weller too. We're like, dude, this is going on.
Louisville has a nice Civil War thing that they have in the city.
Louisville's got it. Yeah, you got to see their Airbnb. You'll probably stay in it tonight. We're like, yes, of course. I don't know how you knew that, but
It
yes,
was one note too.
it was one note.
Louisville has.
It was an F sharp.
Yeah, I got Weller.
Yeah, I got Weller. Dude, this guy's talking to us for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And now Jordan and I are both very gracious, hospitable. Hospitable doesn't even apply there. We're like gracious and understanding, and we try to have some empathy and compassion when we deal with people.
Long fuse.
But around minute 8, my fuse starts to burn off a little bit, and I'm looking at Jordan, and I'm like, somebody's got to shut this guy up. No, it's not. That's not actually how I felt. I didn't feel like somebody's got to shut this guy up, but I'm like, man, I don't want to continue having this conversation from far off, So eventually, Jordan and I start loudly having a conversation. We're conducting a conversation about something else, and he takes the hint eventually. But then another family starts going down the stairs. It's like an older guy, his wife, and they have like, a couple kids. The kids go out, and they're probably, starting the car, sitting in the warm car. The dad and the guy that we were talking about start talking about where he's from, which I believe was Indiana.
Yeah.
And then more importantly, they start talking about how he got there from Indiana. Because there's nothing more that men over 50 love talking about than how you got to certain places. You know, oh, you're going to Cedar Point this weekend? Hey, what interstates are you taking to get there? They love talking about directions and stuff.
I was just thinking about this today, and we went to go pick the pizza up that we got for dinner tonight.
Yeah, it was good pizza.
Yeah. And so the backstory to it is that I called in the pizza order to this place called Impizzelli's.
I feel like it ended in Chelly's.
There were 3 Z's, 14 L's, 1 P.
And it ended in an I.
It ended in an I.
For sure. And that goes without
and
saying.
an umlaut on the end.
Chelly's silly.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah. It was in the back of a Chelly's chili. But so I called in the order, and I originally looked up the restaurant on Yelp and called the number right off that listing, ordered the pizza, and then went into Google Maps, typed in the name of the restaurant, boom, popped it into Maps, went there.
No problem.
It was a nice 16, 17-minute drive, and I'm like, this seems further than what it was telling me originally. And so we make the drive out there, pull up. She asks for my name. She goes, I don't have an order for you. Which location did you call? And at that point, I knew.
Which is a question you never want to hear.
No, I wanted to just plow the car through the side of the building at that point. And,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
And it was Joe's car, too. It was Joseph's car.
And which I have no liability in that case. So, so anyway, we figure out that I called a different location, the location that was much closer to this Airbnb.
Makes sense.
But as I'm explaining it to this girl that was trying to help me, she goes, yeah, I think, which number did you call? I told her. She goes, yeah, that's the one over on blah, blah, blah. What you can do is you can make a right out of here and then go. As soon as people start giving me directions anywhere, I completely tune you out. Like I have no one else on this planet, because you know what?
Yep.
Google Maps exists.
Yes, dude.
Come on. Stop telling me the fastest way to get somewhere.
No, but if you take a right out of here, go about 3 miles down, it's going to be your second left on your fourth right.
Yeah.
See?
What I absolutely cannot stand is when I'm driving with someone and we're going somewhere and I have my maps on and they go,
right there.
Which way is this thing taking you? And then my maps are all screwed up. They're looking at a field that's 500 yards away, not even looking at the road anymore. I'm like, let the maps, it can calculate for traffic, hazards.
Yes, dude.
Roadblocks, bears. It doesn't matter. It will calculate for
directions. Yeah, when somebody begins to give me directions, it makes my head spin. A, it makes my head spin. But B, once I turn 50, I'm confident that I will love talking about directions with other men. Right? So when I feel like when you pass that age of 50, you immediately become interested in, oh, so yeah, like, excellent. You're going to this place for the weekend. More importantly, how are you getting there? What interstates are you taking? Are you taking 24 over to 31, and then are you going for the little short jaunt up 96 and then 275? Or are you going to 61 over to 65? And then, because then it'll be 20 more minutes, but you'll avoid the traffic. See?
I'll be honest. There's nothing I can't stand more than talking about freeways and directions.
It's true.
Like all of my, even before Google Maps, I couldn't. Dude, I don't know. People ask me like, which way? I'll go on a 2-hour drive. Which way did you take to get here? I'm like, who cares? I literally don't know, but I'm here now, and I got here 20 minutes early. So stop. Please stop talking.
That used to be my grandpa. So grandpa, we're going to Cedar Point this weekend. Well, make sure you avoid the turnpike, because then if you take it's an extra 15 minutes. I'm like, Grandpa.
Yeah.
He's dead now. Grandpa, listen. Rest in peace. Grandpa, listen. I don't care about driving. But Grandpa used to drive a truck. He used to own a cartage company, which he, of course, said cartage about because he's old. He was old at the time. Yeah. So, again, at the age of 50, he began to say cartage, Tuesday, Wednesday, Swedish music, etc., as you do at 50.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when they began talking in the hotel lobby this morning, when they began talking about how they got there from Indiana, that's when I went from about an 8 level of anger, of rage, to about an 11. Yeah. And then we had to evacuate. Remember, we evacuated the lobby at that point.
Yeah, we got out of there.
Well, I'm just curious what people are doing by retaining the information on how someone got somewhere.
Why does it matter?
It doesn't.
Why does it matter?
They're not going to go back home and guess what, honey? This absolute moron.
He took 23.
He took 23 south. hiked up to 696. You
all
wouldn't
those
believe
guys.
it. Wait, where was he going? Oh my, what
a moron.
Wow. This is the best conversation I've had all day.
That's like asking, somebody says, hey, my name is, John Sarcophagus, It's like if somebody says their last name, hey, John Sarcophagus. Oh, how do you spell that? S-A-R-C. Like, what does the spelling matter?
Doesn't
my
matter.
last name is Sarcophagus.
Irrelevant.
My last name is Sarcophagus. What does it matter how you spell it?
Never been in a situation like that though.
Where someone said their last name was Sarcophagus.
What's your last name, McMillian? How do you spell it?
I spell it.
I've had people how
MC.
to spell my name.
Yeah.
It's Woodington.
Woodington.
Sound it out, dude. Act like a 3 or 4 year old and just sound it out.
Do you remember when we were in Yellowstone and you were arranging for the zip line?
Oh my.
Yeah. So Will and I, actually, when we weren't even that close of friends yet, we went to Yellowstone together because I was getting over kind of a bit of a heartache season of my life. And I got lunch with Will one time. We didn't even know each other that well yet, Joseph, And so I said, we got lunch with him one time. And I said, Will, in 2 weeks, I'm going to Yellowstone. It's by myself right now. Basically, I just, I booked the trip, booked the flight, whatever. He's like, oh, dude, I've always wanted to go to Yellowstone. And I said, well, you want to come with? He said, I actually might have Delta miles for that. So let's check
Always
it out.
do.
Texted me that afternoon. I'm in for the trip. Cool. We go to Yellowstone. And now, I was about to ask where I was going with that, but I remembered. About 3 nights into the trip, we get a hotel somewhere, and then the next morning we want to go zip lining. We didn't make arrangements for it. So Will's like, the place is closed tonight. I'm going to call in the morning, and we're going to book it and go. And so the next morning, I wake up to Will on the phone. Yeah, it's W-O-O-D. He's on the phone. W-O-O-D-I. And no. W-O-O-D. He's trying to spell his name to the person on the other end of the phone. So I wake up to him making the reservation for the zip lining, and the person on the other end of the phone just couldn't fathom that your name was Woodington, or like phonetically spell it out, right? You spelled it out 14 times.
There must have been some sort of
W-O-O-D.
Yeah, there must have been some sort of secret, like a filter coming through on the phone that was distorting my voice.
And it was saying F-R-J.
F-R-D-B-F-R-D about there. Excuse
Sorry,
me, what,
did you
sir?
say W-O-U-L-D-I?
Would I?
W-O-U-L-D-I-N-G-G.
It's a radio station
You
for
said
sure.
2 G's?
W-O-U-L-D.
Welcome back to W-O-U-L-D.
Welcome back to W-O-L-D. Dude, that was so aggravating. I don't remember what
I wanted to scream, dude, because I woke up to that.
Yeah.
You spelling your name over and over.
which is it haunts you to this day. I know that.
And it
That's
does.
why you can't get any sleep. But
That's right. I tossed and turned. He's right.
I don't remember what the root cause was for it. I can't remember if she just literally wasn't hearing what I was saying. I feel like, have you ever experienced this where you've called a small business or a small restaurant to place a carryout order or book a reservation, find out something, and all of a sudden on the other end of the phone, it's just pure static that comes through, and then the phone comes back like normal?
Yeah, of course.
I think that's what was happening.
Every time you said your
literally every time I was going to tell her my last name, how do you spell your last name, sir? It's Woodington. W-O-I-N-G-T-O-N. What was that? I got W. Yes. O-O-N. W-O-N. Dude.
It just starts to sound like someone coughing and just
Yeah. It took
D-I.
it took
the
a
filter in there.
Woodington.
Is there somebody on the other line? Is somebody on the other end?
dude, that was so aggravating.
How fun was ziplining though?
Ziplining was great.
It was a blast.
I did wish that for some reason I thought that the where we'd be ziplining from would be a little bit higher up. It was a decent amount
It was
up in the air.
decent altitude, but it
Yeah.
could have been higher.
Yeah, but we went over the river and stuff like that.
It was fun.
Probably the most memorable part though were your shorts and how much the zipline gear was making your shorts hike
They
up.
were riding. I mean, and to begin with, they're already short shorts. I mean, it's a 6-inch inseam.
Yeah.
So I'm already the odds are already stacked against me that I'm going to get some kind of high thigh exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Harnesses can make
and so
a
you
man
put a
just
harness
feel-
on, and I was quickly humbled.
Yeah, you can be humbled
It sort of
pretty
looked like you were being strung from the rafters by your shorts.
And it felt like that. Afterward, I had a wedgie that it took about 3 days to work out. So it was nice. Now, was that the night I ate the rib tower? Rib
Mountain.
Rib Mountain. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
No,
It may have been
I
a
don't
day
know.
before or two.
Yeah.
A couple days and a half before or 3.
I think that day was actually on the 4th of July that we were in Yellowstone.
Yeah, it was fun.
we
We
hopped
went to downtown Yellowstone.
We
as
did.
well. It was fun.
Also, one of the funniest memories. We didn't know each other super, super well.
Just well, not and not even well. I would say
Medium rare.
medium rare.
So
There's a light seasoning of knowledge between one another.
But we, I was figuring out your quirks and we didn't really know each other too well and everything like that. And I was laughing continuously so hard at the fact that you insisted that we're walking around in downtown Yellowstone and there's a band playing, there's a crowd, they're selling food. It was amazing.
The environment was pure ecstasy. It was beautiful.
Bliss.
It was bliss.
Yeah.
They were playing songs that I love. Downtown Yellowstone, beautiful weather.
Yep. It was great. But one of the funniest things I will always remember is the fact that you insisted on picking up a newspaper from a local paper vendor in downtown Yellowstone, not to read it, not to check out an article, see what's happening in the world, just to shove it right underneath your armpit to look like a dad on vacation.
Dude, there's nothing more dad on vacation than having a newspaper under your arm and just kind of standing around enjoying the scenery, dude. There's a local newspaper too. It shows the local goings on in the tiny town you're camping in. And it was just under here like this, and I was just taking it all in, just smiling.
Yeah.
A little shuffle, a little nod, with the band. That was the best part of my entire trip, if I can be fully honest.
Yeah.
I still fondly remember that. In fact, when you said that, I felt like I got brought back in time.
Yeah.
And I was right there. They were playing the songs.
It was great. And you were air drumming with the rolled up newspaper.
Do you remember the couple that was dancing very aggressively?
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever seen a couple that dances in an environment to maybe a song that's maybe not fitting? It's a couple that took a dance class together of some other genre, salsa or something.
They're about 50 years old. They're looking to add a little bit of kindling into the marriage, so they go and take a dance class. And now they're ready to debut what they've learned.
Yeah, and we're listening to top 40 songs, rock songs and stuff, up-tempo stuff, and there's this couple like swing dancing, choreography, but it's about 40 beats per minute faster than the tempo at which they learned it. And dude, this guy was swinging his wife around, and she had to have blown an arm out of the socket, dude.
Her bone,
she was swinging.
Her ligaments, I don't understand how they're still intact because
I don't
her
know if
arm
they are.
was going over her head, around her body, and back through.
The way he was like dip, like they would dip quickly, and she would swing her, and
It was insane to watch.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of wished I was in on that too. Even if I had to be the woman in that situation, the choreography and the synergy with which they moved was unlike anything I've seen. I don't know, dating back to at least 1990.
I would say that specific. I would say that specific year. Yeah,
since the accident.
Yeah,
the dance accident,
dude. I would blow out about 5 or 6 vertebrae if I tried even one of those dance moves that she was pulling off.
1,000%. I want to ask you about something else. Have you been on any dates lately? What's the date scene saying?
The date scene.
That's not even a note. I just remembered that kind of off the cuff.
Yeah, no, it's still tough.
It's a tough terrain out there
with COVID. Yeah.
Even without COVID, frankly, it's a tough
Even
terrain
without
to navigate.
yes, it is.
80. What's the $80 per date? Is that usually the metric with
That's
which
usually the metric. I try to gauge it at about 80, and if I go above that, by about another 80,
sure,
it's
ultimately a wash.
I'm expecting that.
Yeah.
If I walk out of there spending no money, red flag. Red flag.
Yes, truly. You always pay though, right?
I do.
You're that type,
I'm
right?
a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't really feeling the date,
it's the right thing to do because usually you're probably the one to initiate too. I'm that way too. Hey, do you want to meet up for whatever? Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Dude, I could never think about splitting the check with a girl.
No.
Honestly,
same.
even if I had a friend that was a girl and I was out to eat with her,
Sure.
like a colleague or something.
Yeah.
Can't imagine splitting the bill. I
No.
don't know.
I feel that.
Sometimes with friends, I feel like guy friends. Sometimes
Now-
with friends, I feel like that.
Even with Guy Fieri, like I wouldn't want to split the bill. Like
At his restaurant.
at
Yeah.
even if he wanted to comp the bill at the restaurant, I even then I would say, Guy, listen.
Any way I
let
can
me-
financially support Guy Fieri, I'm going to do it.
I've been to Guy Fieri's restaurant in Las Vegas. Have you?
What's it called?
Guy Fieri's something. His name
Fieri's-
is on it.
Flamin' blonde hair.
It's Guy Fieri's filet mignon flaminhairs.com. Welcome.
Can we just verify if it's Fieri or Fieri?
Well, it's Fieri, but
well,
I always roll the R.
Oh, I will not. I will
Fieri.
never say Fieri.
Well, you
Ever.
did, dude.
I did just now
To appease
support
me?
you.
Do you
Yes.
think I'm appeased now?
I think you're appeased.
I'm beginning to be.
Do you think he says his name Fieri?
He says it Fieri.
Does
He
he
says
really?
it's Fieri, and I say it Fieri.
Well,
Yeah.
let
Because
me
I
be.
refuse.
Can I be the judge of that? Guy
Yes.
Fieri saying his name. That's a literal search result recommendation.
Let's hear it.
How you doing? I'm Guy Fieri, and you've got tattoos. As a chef, I'm known.
Hold on.
How you doing? I'm Guy Fieri, and you've got tattoos. As a chef, I'm known for my food.
How did he know I have tattoos? I don't have tattoos.
I'm just saying that's dumb.
Can I just listen one more
What is?
time?
How you doing? I'm Guy Fieri, and you've got tattoos. As a chef, I'm known for my food.
What else do I need to say?
Yeah,
A,
I'm just
he's
saying
Guy
it's
Fieri. B, you've got tattoos.
Yeah, you've got tattoos. He didn't
Jordan.
even realize it.
What? He suddenly lifts his shirt. He's got tattoos.
He's
and it says Guy Fieri on there somehow.
That was from when That was a sound bit from when Guy Fieri was a magician, and he would make tattoos appear on people.
You've got tattoos. It's just
I'm Guy Fieri,
Yeah.
and you've got tattoos.
it's just like bar food tattoos. How did I get mozzarella sticks on my actual wrist? That's interesting.
Don't say T sound if it's an R and you're not from a
Yeah.
different country.
Fieri, dude.
yeah.
He's Italian. All Italian names end in an I.
He speaks like this. Hey, I'm Guy Fieri, and you've got tattoos.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's what he says from now on. He's contractually obligated by tattoos.com to say that. All right. So
Some of
listen.
my restaurant tattoos.
So, that's what his restaurant was called in Las Vegas. Guy Fieri's
It was called Tattoos?
It was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was just called tattoos.
So there was a video, and good friend of the podcast, Christy Kurtz, sent me this. She said, "Did you see this dog food commercial? It's this dog food called The Farmer's Dog." I said, "No, because I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I stream most of my stuff on Netflix. No commercials, thank you, dude." By the way, billiards. Did you hear? Oh, that's Will. For those of you not watching, billiards. Did you see that The Office is getting taken away from us on Netflix? It's going to Peacock. The
Yeah,
NBC
I
streaming.
saw that a few months ago.
And you didn't tell me?
I thought you knew, man. I thought everybody knew. I thought everyone in this whole world knew.
Can I have some of that? What is that you're sponsoring here?
This is Still Austin.
Still Austin.
Bourbon whiskey called the Musician. These guys are out of Austin, Texas. They're the only
Keep Austin weird.
they're the only distillery in the city limits of Austin.
Can I have some?
Yep. And this is their 2-year-old
Thank you. Thank you.
musician bourbon.
Cool.
I'm excited to try it.
I tried to
now.
talk that entire time.
You did a
while I was
fantastic
pouring.
job.
You did good.
I've never seen anything like that. George, you want to pour? You got a glass over there?
No.
Just pull it from the bottle.
Take
Sorry.
your glass before it tips over, because we don't have a table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll tip over.
But yeah, it's really good stuff. They're doing really cool, innovative things. If you're a fan of rye whiskey, their rye that they're coming out with is insanely good as well.
Is this a high rye bourbon? Do you know?
I can't remember, but I don't believe it is.
HRB.
Is this an HRB?
It's not classified as an
Did you
actual
get this
HR.
from H&R Block?
Yeah, they were giving that out with.
Yeah. So anyway,
Taxes.
I want to talk about this the dog thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dog.
Christy said, "Did you see this dog food commercial by this company called The Farmer's Dog?" I said, "No." She said, "As someone who suffers from sound rage, because she peeves at the same kind of sounds that I peeve about," she said, "You got to listen to this commercial, and here's what it sounds like." It says, "Do you hear that?" Oh wait, that's coming through the Bluetooth speaker. Hold on a second. This is why it would make more
just
sense.
freaked me
Listen to
out,
this.
yeah.
It says, "Do you hear this? It's the farmer's dog. It's dog food commercial. Listen." It's
Is
the
that-
sound of dogs eating and
Oh,
slurping
dude, that's
food.
so gross.
Dude.
Oh, stop! Why are they putting that in the commercial?
She said, "Did you hear this commercial?" I said, "No." I pulled this up and I had to put earplugs in my ear for the next 3 hours just to make it stop forever.
Yeah.
And so
Dude.
I wanted to put it on the podcast so it lives eternally on the Starting Out podcast. So as someone who suffers from sound rage, and I love dogs too, but that's where I have to draw the line. The sound of dogs, slurping and glurping and
Yeah.
slapping and
'Cause there's-
slopping and slurping.
Yeah.
Slurping.
There's just there's a lawlessness with dogs. I mean, you can't
There is.
you can't really teach them how to eat and drink politely like a human being would with their mouth. So
No, it's
I don't
true.
want to hear a close up of a dog eating ever for any
It's
reason.
bad directing.
I
That's
wanna-
what it is.
I want to ask a dog person in the audience, Joseph, did you hear the sound that I just played? What did you think about that? You're not offended by it. Now, Joseph, he has 3 dogs. He and his beautiful wife, Valkyrie, have 3 dogs. Phoebe, Penny, and my cousin Travis. It's not his name isn't my cousin Travis. His name's Finley, but he looks like my cousin Travis. He looks like my actual cousin Travis. So that's what we call him. But they have 3 beautiful dogs with whom they're pretty close. I mean, you've been over there a number of times. They're like children
they
in that
know
family.
me well. Yeah,
And your Uncle Billiards.
Yeah, they know me well. They miss me all the time.
Do they sound like that when they feast?
I'm not usually at. Now, I have been over there a handful of times when the dogs have been eating, but for the most part, I'm usually not there during feeding time. I try to avoid that time.
Listen again.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of American restaurateur, author, and Emmy Award-winning television presenter who co-owns 3 restaurants in California and licenses his name to restaurants in New York City and Las Vegas. We are looking at how to pronounce Guy Fieri, or with his full name.
Wow. That wasn't the same video, but I just wanted to show you guys how Guy Fieri is pronounced. He said Fieri with an R.
Fieri. Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's bad directing on the dog commercial.
Yeah.
It's not like you're doing. It has nothing to do with dogs. Nothing to do with people. If you're doing
No.
a Cheerios commercial, you're going to show people eating Cheerios, no volume. Not you should get Cheerios. They're so good,
Dude, I like outside of maybe like a little sound bit. If you're a company that sells something crunchy like a candy bar or I don't know what else, but
Sure, like
Ramen.
the Kit Kat,
like a little
like the old Kit
yeah,
Kat commercials where they
sure.
would break it and it'd be the crunch.
You have an artificial crunch sound.
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's all right.
I don't need to know what dogs sound like eating food.
Listen to it again. This is disgusting.
Sure. It says, here is the text for the commercial. They told us healthy food couldn't be tasty. Intro music here. But do you hear that?
Dude, stop. There's
That's gross.
breath coming out of the nostrils and
Yeah.
it sounds like a babbling brook with slobber.
It did. It truly
that's sick.
did. Oh.
That's just useless to put in
Now,
any commercial.
even as a dog lover. Now, you get for those of you who don't know Will, I mean, he is chief among dog lovers, right? In fact, you love dogs so much that you require there's a city ordinance that requires in the township of Plymouth in which he lives.
We got the legislation passed finally.
Yes, that all
Yeah.
dogs must be registered with him first.
Yeah.
Like he has to approve of them, right?
Yep. They must be tracked. I must insert microchips into them so
Yes.
that I can track them at all times.
Yes.
I must know each of their names, their
Yes.
breed, their age, their owners. And occasionally I will see some out there
Yeah.
that are still entering the city limits without checking with my magistrate first.
Without being registered.
Yeah.
And so even as chief among dog officers, that offends you. That sound.
That definitely offends me
the cascade of dog.
because that is
Eating.
not something I adore about dog. I don't enjoy. Now, I will say this: if, for say, Joseph had the 3 dogs lined up,
including
and-
my cousin Travis in there.
cousin Travis, Phoebe, Penny, if they were in the kitchen and they were just going to town on some food, it'd be great because I love those dogs and they're happy to be eating. But I don't want to hear the sound clip replayed of them eating
with music.
with music. Yeah,
With Mozart's with a Mozart piece.
right. Just beautiful music with just
Bach's Fifth Symphony.
with
I don't know
just
if that's a
disgusting
piece.
slobbering.
Did you ever watch Beethoven back in the day, by the way? Speaking of composers, speaking of dogs, the movie Beethoven.
The dog movie.
I
Yeah,
like Beethoven 2 more.
it's been a while. I always,
been a
dude, I
while.
feel like for the longest time, I thought that the male actor, the lead actor in that, was Chevy Chase. Just in my mind until I rewatched it again. Always thought it was just Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
The dad in the
Yeah.
film?
I forget who that guy is or what he's been in.
Beethoven. Let me see what he's saying. Beethoven movie. Tough word to spell, honestly.
Beethoven? Beethoven?
Beethoven.
Yeah.
You mean he wasn't Chevy Chase?
Couldn't you see Chevy Chase
Yes.
filling that role?
Chevy Chase, I watched him a lot in the show Community, and apparently he exited the show early, like a season or two early, because he was just tough to get along with.
Oh, he's notoriously hard to work with.
Charles Grodin is his name.
Nice,
He
nice,
looks
nice.
like this.
What's he saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
what else has he
yeah.
been in? He's been in other stuff.
He's just like quintessential dad-looking guy.
He's
Other
like
than like Alan Thicke.
quintessential 80s dad guy
Yeah.
kind of deal. Early 90s dad guy.
Midnight Run, Heartbreak Kid.
Don't know him.
Interesting. He's in Seems Like Old Times featuring
Guy
Beethoven.
Fieri.
Chevy Chase.
Oh,
Wow. See, I was onto something there.
Who's Chevy Chase's co-star there? Female.
Know her, but don't know her name. Not sure.
It looked like, I don't know who it
Is
looked
that
like.
Goldie Hawn?
It looked like either
No.
Goldie Hawn, Pamela Anderson, or Dolly Parton.
Not the last.
I saw blonde hair. I don't know.
I think it's the first one you said.
Goldie Hawn?
Good guess. Did you know that answer?
It's Goldie Hawn.
Respect. Respect.
Okay.
So
That's good to know. Yeah, I haven't watched Beethoven in a while, but I remember being a big fan of that. Also, Turner and Hooch.
big Turner
Great
and
one.
Hooch guy.
Great dog movie. Air Bud was probably the swan song of the 90s dog
Air Bud
movies,
was the
though.
first movie I cried during.
Dude,
Yeah.
me too, with my dad.
Was it the part where he's like, "Go,
Yes.
you have to go
Yes,
away."
dude.
Dude, that was the first movie I remember crying. I was watching by myself, and 13 tears came down my
No
eyes. dude.
kidding.
An uneven amount of tears.
Yeah,
Yes.
my left was deficient of tear duct
6
capabilities.
on the side, 7 on
Seven
the
on the side. Yeah,
Dude, it's crazy because my I did the same thing. I watched that and I cried, and I was like with my dad, and my mom came in. She's like, "It's okay to cry."
really.
And from that point on, I was like, "It's okay to cry."
When was the last time you cried?
So I stopped. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Oh, when's the last time?
Yeah.
I thought you said so I stopped crying.
I actually got teared up the other day watching Phantom of the Opera.
Really?
Yeah, because of the music. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
got me, dude.
I saw it in 5th grade. I saw the thing in Toronto.
I watched the movie for the
Toronto.
first time. I saw it on Broadway like last year, but
Whoa.
Uh,
Respect.
but yeah, I watched the movie. My sister-in-law is like obsessed with the movie, so she's like, "You got to watch it." We
Which
watched it over
sister-in-law?
Marsha.
Love her.
Very,
New York's finest right there.
yeah,
Truly.
big fan of the podcast.
Love her. Shout you out, Marsha. If you're listening, we love you. Have you seen any shows on Broadway, Will? Or even, I mean, Detroit, like live shows,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Yeah. Little Shop of Horrors.
Sure.
Horrors.
Hoarders.
Hoarders.
Little Shop of Hoarders.
There was they did a live episode of Hoarders at the Fox Theater.
took all of somebody's stuff and put it on stage.
Put it all on
Listen,
stage. Brought them in. Said,
You
"Listen,
got to boom, 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 move this stuff. Move.
you've got to get this. I can't take it." Dun, 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 dun.
And then it goes into that.
Yeah. But no.
Hoarders Live is great.
Little Shop of Horrors. What else? I've seen Stomp. I don't know if that's the Broadway though.
It's a live show. It's fun.
Blue Man Group as well, but that's also not Broadway.
And I've mentioned this on past episodes. I've seen Blue Man Group in 5 different cities. That's right, 5 different cities, and thought about auditioning in Las Vegas because I had a connection to the stage manager, but it didn't go anywhere. And so that's because I would look terrible in a bald wig. So that's why I thought I didn't want to do it anymore.
That's funny.
Can you believe that, Joe? That's
5
trouble. It's
different
trouble.
cities. That's right. 5
5
different
different
that-
cities.
Yes, that's right. 5 different cities, people. Yeah.
Have you ever seen? You're in Vegas a lot. Have you ever seen Cirque du Soleil?
Dude, we were just talking about this today.
Who was?
Me, Joe, and Wasim.
Oh, really?
On the way here.
Yeah, sure.
But I was kind of telling them, like, Vegas is not my thing. I've been probably 6 or 7 times.
You're not a Vegasman?
not a Vegasman. Yeah, it's granted I've been there for work every time, but vacation Vegas really I don't even know if it's my thing either. Like,
Sure.
you know, I get sunburned easily. I'm not going to sit up by a
Same.
pool.
You're Irish, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Scottish, yeah.
Oh, Scottish.
Yeah, Scottish, but yeah. So Vegas really isn't my thing. Anyway, but what I have said is that, like, if I have the time to go, I would love to go see Cirque du Soleil
Would be nice.
or something of
Blue Man Group in Vegas.
yes.
They've
I've
got a
heard
great
it's
show there.
the same show.
It is. Different actors.
I saw it in. That's what I go for. The different actors.
You got to see O by Cirque du Soleil next time you're there. Just make it a point to go.
Joe co-signs on that. It looks like he says,
Oh?
yeah.
Yeah, it's the best show I've ever seen.
Sheesh. Have you seen it, Joseph? No. But you just have heard great things about it? He says,
It's
trust
so
me.
good.
Trust me, dude. I've heard great things about
It's
it.
all of like the acrobatic like stunts and everything like that they're doing, but the stage goes from a platform stage to a 15-foot swimming pool. And
How's that
sometimes,
possible?
I mean, sometimes they're diving in from 20 feet above. Sometimes they're walking across it knee deep. Like, it's the most insane production I've ever seen. In my
Whoa.
life.
Wow.
It's,
I would love to see that.
that show got me into producing.
Hey, nice. Yeah. It was the gateway show. You know, I've heard that. It's the age-old tale. You
I've
know?
seen it 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed kid goes and sees Cirque du Soleil. Oh, becomes a podcast producer. We've heard this story time and time again.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a classic example, George.
Kind of. So yeah, I'm sick of hearing about it. I mean, it's
It's
over and over. and
It's
over.
the
Yeah.
old narrative. Yeah. What were you gonna say? Well, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
The billboards for that show. It was at Shen. Is it Shen Young?
Yeah,
seen
they
that?
do that in they do that in Detroit. I feel like around Christmas time.
Yeah. I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, no. People hand out flyers for that year after year after year in the
Yes.
mall.
Yes.
You go to the mall
Yep.
for like post Christmas sales, whatever. You want to get a new shirt from Express for New Year's Eve or whatever, and you're going to get 2 or 3 flyers.
You're walking away with 3 flyers for Shen Young. Yeah.
minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is though. I feel like it's kind of like a version of like Cirque.
Yeah. I had no idea what it was, and for the longest time, like I don't know. I just like would always see the billboards and stuff, and just kept thinking that it was a restaurant.
Yeah.
Didn't realize
Sounds
for
like one.
months that it was an actual like production.
True.
But-
True. You know what I thought about recently? It has nothing to do with that. It's a story. Remember Seasons? T-Bone?
Oh yeah.
Tell the story about T-Bone, would you please? So we're in Kentucky. Listen, guys. We're in Kentucky right now. And a couple years ago, Will and I came to Kentucky as well to go on the Bourbon Trail and see distilleries and stuff. Will found this great restaurant on Yelp. And it had a great bourbon menu, great foods and stuff like this. Okay. And we went there. Now you tell the rest of the story.
Yeah. So great place. Loved it overall. But we were kind of confused. We didn't know what to expect because it's like in the middle of the woods in
It's backwoods,
Kentucky.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went. Place looked really cool. It was packed, at the time, and they had like bonfire pits outside and all this really cool stuff. So anyway, we sit down. We order some food from this waitress. We order some drinks and all this stuff. We start eating the appetizer, or like charcuterie board, what have you, that we got. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up, not wearing a Stave shirt, not wearing a
That's
Stave.
the name of the restaurant.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's called The Stave. And he's not wearing any merchandise on him that represents his name, a hat, like nothing.
He seems like a customer.
Yeah. So I thought he was just a guy that was looking to talk to someone, a random customer, walks up to us and is like, "How you guys enjoying everything?" And I'm like, Oh, it's great, man. This is our first time.
How are you enjoying your food, sir?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you guys sitting?
What are you drinking? Yeah, like just think he's a customer. Don't realize. So anyway, yeah. So we're talking with him, and finally come to find out he doesn't lead with this and say that, hey, I work for the state, but just want to know how your meal is. 5 minutes in, finally, after interrogating him, he leads us to the point that, hey, I work for the stave. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Now we're starting to
now
understand
we're
why
cooking
we're
with
talking.
gas.
Now,
So
understood.
yeah. So we're talking with him, and he's asking us where we're from and everything like that. And at the time, you hadn't moved down to Nashville yet, so we're like, yeah, we're from Michigan. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I used to work up there. Yeah, I was actually up there for a couple of seasons.
Will and I look at each other like, is this a term that I don't know? Like, do you know what this term, I was up there for a couple seasons?
And I think what he
means?
actually led with
What's
was,
this mean?
I used to sell books.
Yes, that's right.
Up there. I used to sell books up there for a couple of seasons. What?
What could it mean?
What does that? Well, how long is a season?
Is a season a year?
Sir, if you're talking all 4 seasons, that's 1 year.
So
if you work there for a couple of seasons, that's going to be 2 years for you.
Or if he's just going literally by seasons, that's half a year. It's 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't you just say 6 months or 12 months in that instance? I worked up there for a couple of seasons.
Right.
What could it mean?
I
worked up there selling books for a couple of seasons.
Okay, so things you have to take into consideration. How many seasons does Michigan really get? We get 4, right? Some other places get, 1 or 2, really.
Michigan gets 4.
We get 4. So he was there for at least, winter leading into spring.
Sure.
Or maybe fall leading into winter.
Maybe fall leading into summer.
Yeah, it could have been a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Also, how long?
Maybe fall going backward, regressing into summer.
I think
Is that something you've considered? Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
I worked for 2 backward seasons there. Like, wait,
Yeah,
I
I was
traveled
there
full
for
year.
a winter.
I
and a
traveled through.
fall.
I traveled through time and space up there once.
I was there January 2017 through December 2016. Actually, that's stupid.
But I was trying to figure out what seasons meant. You sold books up there, so how long is book selling season? We had no idea what that guy meant, but we didn't talk about it until after we left, and I was like, he said he was up in Michigan for a couple of seasons.
I was like, yeah, I was really confused by that too.
Couple of seasons of life.
I was like,
got a dog, sold. Got rid of the dog, bought
first
a house, sold
marriage,
a
whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
it
had
could
a
have.
couple of seasons.
Couple seasons of life, couple tough seasons for me. And, made me a better man ultimately. But I'm
And-
glad to be back down here in Kentucky.
And his name is T-Bone.
Straight up
That's
on
his
the name
name.
tag. Miss him though. He was master of hospitality too at the restaurant.
Yeah.
We saw some pretty impressive things today on the Bourbon Trail.
Oh, so
and
fun.
one of the
fun.
things that stood out to me that I was just thinking about. People say things, in creative ways. Whatever
Sure.
comes out of their mouth, whatever. And today we were talking about this certain something that is expensive or whatever and hard to find. And we were like, how'd you obtain this? How'd you acquire this? And he's like, well, we traded some money for it. You traded money for it?
What are you like a 14th century merchant?
Do you mean you paid for it, or
you
did
traded
you trade money?
You
for it?
traded like beaver skins.
You
and
wait, you traded valuable jewels and rare spices for these.
for these bottles of bourbon. Yeah, Jordan was like, so, dude, I mean, what did this cost? He's like, yeah, we actually traded several barrels of bourbon for this and some cash too. We traded some cash for it too.
Yeah.
Traded cash.
I
So
said,
you
this
paid.
is, this is the way that I'm gonna I'm gonna go to the gas station and get a bottle of water and say, how much? All right, cool. Could I trade you $3 for this?
This costs $1.90.
I'll give you.
Well, would you
Yeah.
accept? Can I trade you $1.90 for the bottle? Sure.
Listen, I'll give you $1.90 for this bottle if you give me the bottle. You want to trade?
What do you think about a swap here? Hear me out. Sale price says $250. What if I trade you $250 for it?
Plus whatever the tax is.
Plus whatever. I'll trade you the 6% sales tax. What is sales percent? What's sales tax percentage in Kentucky? Anybody know? No. Trivia question.
8, 7, 8.
It's 87. 87. And so that's great, man. Jordan, I do remember that. We were trying not to laugh because he was he was hosting us, right?
This guy was just incredible.
He was the man, master bourbon guy, and I was trying not to laugh at that. Well, we did laugh. We had a chuckle.
Yeah.
But I wanted to laugh harder.
Yeah. I've got to shout him out.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah. Dan Calloway from Bardstown Bourbon Company.
If you're ever down here, people, listen, if you ever come across Bardstown or, Middle Kentucky, whatever, go through Bardstown, and you got to stop through Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
Definitely worth a stop. But big shout out to Dan for pulling out the red carpet for all of us like he did.
Yeah, true.
It was incredible. So
I'm snapping in applause. Thank
6% sales tax.
6%? 60. That's awesome.
yeah.
That was one of the best experiences of my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, he went into like actual barrels and let us just like taste bourbon straight from barrels, which is an experience I've never had. Something you guys got to experience about a week or two ago.
Literally last week for the first time, so it's crazy to do it twice.
Every
with
bourbon
him.
lover, like that's the dream, to be able to just taste bourbon right from the barrel as nature intended it,
Mm-hmm.
And just to get to see
burp.
these tours, man.
It's cool,
From
right?
such a high profile guy. I mean, this guy was not like, I don't know this. He didn't seem like a typical tour guide. He was just like this guy that was like, oh, we're not doing this right now, but we're going to do it for you.
Yeah.
He was sharp. He was put together, corporate guy, innovative, like cool, creative.
I mean, he's
handsome.
He's
in his own right.
the VP of hospitality, but also lead of product development.
Yeah.
So like for him to take time out of his day to show a few random guys he's literally never met before
it blessed the boys, didn't it?
and do that for us, like that's insane. Like literally hospitality is part of his title, but he took it to a whole new level.
True.
Yeah,
And we were there because of you.
Yeah. That's for you, Billiards. Billy Jack.
No, it was my pleasure. I wouldn't have done it without you guys.
Jordan got new shoes. Have you seen those, Will? Did you take a peek at the shoes yet?
I saw him today.
Do you like them?
I do like him.
Jordan got some New Balance sneaks. They look so cool.
Yeah, this is like my first pair of real shoes.
You went for it, yeah.
I went for it.
And they're not like loud, but they're not quiet. Like they're sneakers. You have to acknowledge them when they walk into a room.
Yeah.
You have to say
When they walk into a room.
when those sneakers walk into a room, you just have to say okay.
I didn't tell Monica that I bought these.
And
Like day of. I
Yeah.
did not say anything because I was nervous that she wouldn't like them. And today I just got the courage. We were waiting for the boys to get down here.
yeah,
And I took a picture of them from the side because that's the best angle
it
of
is.
these shoes.
That's what sneakers look
She
like.
said, "Oh my god, I love."
Wow, really?
That's a
Any
big deal
emojis
for me.
Any emojis?
No,
No emojis. But that's still okay. I mean, it's still good though,
part
right?
of the picture. So
Well, that's what we want a tap back. Tap backs trump emojis in my
gotta have
opinion.
it. Yeah. Gotta have it.
What else, Will? You got anything else? Because I'm ready to wrap up if we don't have anything else to discuss.
I think I'm good. It's been fun, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hold my
Happy
hand.
birthday, Will.
Thank you.
Hold my hand.
Appreciate that.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, looking forward to a fun weekend here.
Yeah, it's going to be special. So this has been episode 28 of the Stouting Off podcast, where, finish it for me, if you would.
We spout off commentary on the everyday.
Bye.
Give a final message, Will.
What do you got for me?
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. You heard it here first.